Hi, I'm David Schindler of Learning to Leap, and welcome once again to the latest in our monthly series of conversations with interesting people in the jobs, careers, and employability space. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome Sharon O, an award-winning young digital entrepreneur and founder of a very cool startup called Augmented Vacancies. This is the first online mobile app job site in incorporating augmented reality and video CV. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, David.
Nice to see you. Maybe we could start with a little bit about you and a little bit about your background and tell us about how you won an award and set up this company.
Sure. So AV is actually set up. Well, it just happened because it's actually developed as part of my university project.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually came from a non-technical background. My background was actually digital media. But for my end of year project, I refused to do anything sort of like for camera based or anything like that or editing based because I thought, but it's just lucky because I had a lot of sort of like work experience for my third year in my university.
Yeah.
So I was like working for a company called Endemol. So we were filming a one day Snot Mary Avoid down in Essex. And they told me there's no point for you to do qualification, like to do like 3 years like in university, because in the media industry, you need to start from the bottom anyway, like being a runner and work your way up to be a producer. Then I thought, sort of like halfway through my university, I said to my lecturer for my MPhil project, I'd rather do something related to IT, related to like software. And unfortunately, he said to me, being a media person, you shouldn't be doing that sort of thing because that would be a software developer's job. That would be a software sort of students should be doing it. But I say, I didn't care because, the whole point of coming to university is to get a good job out of it. So I insisted to do something related to like mobile app. So I created a prototype for during that time we were sort of like doing some sort of like augmented reality base. So we created a mobile app for a job searching site, and that's called Augmented Vacancies. And that's and I learned sort of like coding myself. So within 4 months, I built a prototype of the mobile app. As well as using PHP, HTML, CSS for the web application as well. So I won an award at the end of the year, and it's called Outstanding Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
Fantastic.
So, and I've been given the opportunity to take AV further, so that's what I did, and here I am.
Fantastic. So one of the things that struck me about that was that you weren't going to take no for an answer, and you were going to challenge the accepted wisdom of your lecturers. That says something about you.
Well, it's really hard. It's really hard because I would just say I'm really glad that because along my journey in my university, I'm sort of like say yes to everything. So I still remember sort of like my university lecturer say to me, because for my work experience I was doing in my third year, it's really hard because I still need to concentrate on my end of a project, which is like the final project. But at that time, I was offering work experience for other companies as well. But I still managed sort of like to put it out to a level to get a first class degree as well as to get some work experience alongside to my university.
Yeah.
So I would say it's I've been so lucky to have the opportunity given.
So you won an award, you got some money, and you started to set up this company. So tell us about Augmented Vacancies and how it works.
Sorry.
Tell us a little bit about how Augmented Vacancies works.
So how it works, so we're trying to build a job site purely focusing on mobile application. So because as a young person, it's actually born from my experience being a job seeker AV, because I hate the fact that a job seeker had to spend so long, like so much time filling in application forms, sending out 30, 40, but heard nothing back. And it's really depressing as well. So what we're trying to change is the job searching experience. So trying to change sort of like the depressing sort of like, the experience into a fun experience, giving them sort of like a novelty type of experience, like helping them to build environment about sort of like utopia. So give them hope. So everything sort of like we show in a virtual reality environment. So that's how it works.
So tell us a little bit more about that virtual reality thing. So as I understand it, it's something you have it on a mobile. You can connect up with employers who are offering jobs simply by using your phone and by uploading a CV, a video CV to apply for a job as you're walking along the street.
Yeah, that's right. So just the process like less than a minute. So users can upload as many CV as they want, tailored to the jobs that they apply for. And while they're walking down the street, just pointing the phone using the camera. If there's jobs around them, the jobs will pop up and apply through the button and send off a CV. And they can send the video CVs as well. So that will help them to speed up the recruitment process.
So it uses GPS technology with video as a way of shortcutting a lot of the processes that recruiters tend to use.
That's right. That's the whole idea, by speeding up the recruitment process.
So I see on your website that you say you can save up to 30% of recruiters' time by doing this.
That's right. So what happened, like in the traditional way of recruitment, so once a job seeker sort of send off their CV, and the employers need to sort of like screen their CV and inviting them to come for interview.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to achieve is being a job site, being a mobile application focus, candidates can sort of record themselves in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So that will show like their interpersonal skill and communication skills as well. Because for the jobs that students are tend to applying for are sort of like sales assistant or weekend part-time job. I think CV is dying. I personally think CV is dying. So the video CV, it just helps them sort of like to build out their communication skills, their interpersonal skills, and to speed up the process as well. So that's what we're trying to achieve.
So it's almost doing away with that personal statement that people put on CVs to, here I am, and this is what I've got to offer, and this is what I'm good at.
Yeah, because you can get anyone to write your CV, you can get someone to proofread it, but not to like when someone invites you to come to the interview, then you find out who that person is, how good they are, what sort of presentation skills that they have. So CV doesn't represent who you are, what you do. It's just like one way of putting yourself to the employer, but it doesn't represent who you are like in general. That's what we're trying to achieve with the video CV.
So who are your clients, both in terms of the candidates and the employers? What sort of people are you working with?
So in terms of a candidate, we are focusing on young people and students. So 16 to 25, that is our targeted area. In terms of employer, currently we are focusing on like IT and game sectors. So that is one of the biggest focus at the moment, but we are actually rolling out to any other sectors. So our aim is to achieve sort of like to get sort of a retails on board, but to start with, we are focusing on IT and games sort of industries.
Yeah, because the digital skills gap is huge. So it's an area that a lot of people need to become savvy in fairly quickly. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, but it's a good place to start here, where it's a warm area in terms of games and IT.
Definitely. And I think like our area, like anywhere outside London, is still not doing enough to help the industry. They're not doing enough to help the entrepreneurs. They are not doing enough to help the young people in the digital side. So there is a lot of gaps out there if you're trying to help and trying to improve as well.
Yeah, and you've got some very ambitious targets, haven't you? You want to have 10,000 young people.
Yeah, we got a really big aim, but we are inviting people to come along and help us because we can't do it without anyone's help. So if anyone's sort of interested to, we're more than happy sort of to have a conversation with anyone sort of to be on board.
So
anyway.
You're setting up an ambassador scheme, haven't you? Tell us about that.
So one of the vision in AV is to lead by young people to the young people.
Yeah.
So again, that is actually speak from my experience of being a job seeker when I was a student, because it's not that we don't have the talent or the skills, but it's just that we're not being given the opportunity to shine. So we're not being given opportunity to say to employees that how good we are, what sort of thing that we can do.
Yeah.
So the student ambassador program is a way to give the young people an opportunity to work in the area that they like, or to find something they like to do. So let's say if a young person say to me they like to get involved like with marketing, but they're not sure whether they are good at it because they're currently studying probably like a business side. But what we can say to them, yeah, that's good, because if you're studying in the business side, you do need to have the marketing skills to get it out there, because 73% of a graduate, when they graduate, they don't tend to get the sort of the sectors then they're studying for.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to achieve is to give them the experience, is to give them another opportunity to see what they're good at, what sort of route they can go into. So that is a brand ambassador program we are giving the students.
Brilliant. So it gives them work experience, it gives them a breadth of experience as well into different areas, but also playing to their strengths. And
That's
also,
right.
I see from some of your senior ambassadors on your website, you've got an artist and a poet and a social entrepreneur. It's very varied, isn't it?
Yeah, so they are all entrepreneurs themselves. So because we like to make sort of a mentoring sort of a program in terms of those like myself, we've been through that process. So we like to help other people trying to sort of like be in the same journey as well. But being an entrepreneur is a very, very hard journey. It's always an up and down. And I don't I think it's something that you need to sort of like work on as a successful entrepreneur. It's not that something it's not. I would say it's not. It's not like you can born, but it's something you need to work on it as well. So so what we're trying to do is actually helping other young people. So give them the experience, give them the mentoring sort of skills as well to to be a successful entrepreneur.
So what are your
So
what are your views on being an entrepreneur? Because you're a young entrepreneur. And a lot of people have very stereotypical views of young people about how lazy and entitled they are. Clearly, you don't represent that stereotype. What do you find? What's important to be
being
a
a
young
generation
entrepreneur?
Y, is that what?
Yeah,
Well, it's really, really hard because we tend to sort of like try to speak to a lot of companies. What they look at us is sort of say, you sort of like say, you don't really have the experience, you don't really sort of like understand. But I think it's actually in a speaking from my experience, I would say because in our generation Y, we can get all the information like through Google anyway. So what we've been told, if you can't find something out there, you need to go out and build it. So I think that's how like the generation sort of like evolved, because everything that we can build it ourselves. That's why we don't like to work for someone else. It's not like, I like to get some experience to work for someone else, but I think is the environment, is the culture that we've been shaped. Especially sort of like nowadays, there's so many sort of like programs, so many events taking place. Sort of like I just been to a hackathon at the weekend in London, and we actually building an application within 36 hours, and then we could just like sort of like roll it out to the market within 36 hours.
Brilliant.
But the generation that we spoke to during that weekend, they're all like under 25. None of us really like to work for someone else. They like to work for themselves because they think they can do it. They think they've got the power to change the world. And I think that's fall into sort of like, everyone likes to watch Frozen, because everyone likes to have the power, to change how we live, to make the world a better place to live. So I think it's a culture that we've been shaped. That's what my view is in terms of the entrepreneur.
So it'd be really interesting to interview you in 20 years' time to see what your views are then.
But again, I think being an entrepreneur is not actually something you can do on your own. You do need to help and support from other people as well. So I think 70, 20, 10 is that how you actually sort of be a successful person. So by learning on the practical side, 70% that what you need to do, 20% that is like, is it through the mentoring, and 10% through
formal training.
And also, one of the things that I learned from my journey being an entrepreneur is that you do need to have a team in place,
Yeah.
because being an entrepreneur is just like on the roller coaster. So it's up and down all the time. Sometimes when you feel really down, at least if you are in a team, you always get people around you to support you.
Yeah.
It's not just that, because we feel like as an entrepreneur, it's just like in the world, just me and myself. There's no one else.
Yeah.
But if you are in a surrounding sort of like, in a place where other people are working on the same thing, on the same journey,
Yeah.
you can always like talk to them, get the support from them, get the encouragement from them. So it's really important to have sort of like the network around you.
So you've got a group of people around you to support you around augmented vacancies.
I wouldn't say it's a network that's supporting augmented vacancy. It's the network that's supporting me.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things being an entrepreneur is you need to show that you have the passion. Once you have the passion, then you will believe in the thing that you're doing. People can start sort of like helping you, and you need to tell people what you need help as well. A lot of people say to me, when you got an idea, keep that to yourself. Don't let the world know. Don't let anyone know, because people might steal the idea from you. But from my experience, I actually think if you got an idea, you need to let the world know. You need to let people know, because if an idea, you keep that to yourself, it won't go to anywhere. It won't evolve. An idea is just an idea. You can't keep that anyway unless you execute it. That's just my view.
And who are these people telling you not to tell anybody?
There's a lot. A lot. I can't really remember on top of my head. But when I first started AV, I was told that I need to get like patent done. I need to get like non-disclosure agreement, which is important, the
Yeah.
non-disclosure agreement. But they were saying to me, don't tell anyone until you got the product ready to get it to the market. But the problem is, if you don't do the market research, you won't be able to do, you won't be able to implement a product that is focused on the need of the market. So, which is important. It's not that you're telling anyone sort of, but you need to tell people that relates to you, the people working in the same industry, and believe in them, and then believe that there are good people out there trying to help as well.
Brilliant. And what have you learned? What else have you learned about running a business? You talked about teamwork. You've talked about some of the business issues to do with patents and stuff.
I
What
think
what
it's
what are the
very
things that have really jumped out at you? The learning curve you've been on.
I think it's about prioritize as well,
Mm.
because, well, at the moment it's sort of like, I think we've been given a lot of opportunity, and being a startup, there's always like work around us, so we're trying to juggle it, see what sort of thing that we need to work on. So I think you need to sort of like sit down. Sometimes it's good to have a break, have
Yeah.
a Kit Kat. So sit down to list down what sort of thing you're working on, what sort of thing that is important to you, and then if you can't sort of like, if you can't sort of think properly on the day, always like grab someone to come out sort of like for a cup of coffee, meet someone in a coffee shop, talk to them, and then as you talk to the persons that you can trust and say, all right, this is something I'm sort of like, I'm working on, but I'm quite confused. I can't really get my head around what sort of thing I need to
Yeah.
focus on. As you talk to them, as you go through, then you get sort of like a better view inside of you to say, okay, this is the first thing I need to work on. This is I should keep that to the last. So I think that is one of the things all the entrepreneurs need to work on, is to get focused and to get sort of concentration on as well.
Brilliant.
And it's good to have a break.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing from you is you need resilience to be an entrepreneur, but you also need some humility, which is to know when to turn to others. Team working is absolutely important, and what you're demonstrating through your tone and your voice is the absolute passion for what you do. So you're a good representative of what you're talking about.
I'm learning as I go along, and there's still a lot for me to learn as well. But I mean, I would just say thank you so much for everyone that is around, sort of like, trying to help me. And without the network, without the people that sort of, believe in me, I wouldn't be able to sort of like, sit in front of you to do the interview. I wouldn't be able to talk. And I think it's all about sort of like learning from experience as well.
Yeah.
Fail hard, fail fast. One of the key things that I like to emphasize being an entrepreneur is to learn from failing.
Yeah.
Now, I understand, like in the UK, people don't like to fail because they think if you fail, I mean, you are failure. But in the US, I was actually in a conference, and I had a conversation with the president from Disney. When I first said to him, I said, I'm a startup, I'm an entrepreneur. He didn't say anything to me. The first conversation that we had was he asked me, fail it. I was like, I'm looking at him, I was like, what do you mean? Fail it. I was like, he said to me, that is the best way for you to learn.
Yeah.
But in the US, everyone was talking about failing. Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to fail it. Normally, the first sort of project that you're working on, you don't tend to get any sort of any return or anything. But in the UK, people don't like to fail.
No.
But one of the key things that I learned from, you need to accept it, something that you're not good at. You need to learn from it. Mm-hmm. If you can't do it, get help from someone else, get advice from someone else, work on it. And fail hard, fail fast. That is one of my mottos.
I think you're talking to the converted here, but I went to I've tried a few things in my time. I went to a seminar recently where Marks and Spencer were talking, and they're trying to change their culture. And one of the things that they were saying was fail fast. They're trying to get their managers to have a go at things and not be criticised or attacked for not getting things right, and then to move on fairly quickly to see what else works. So I think some of these things, some of these ideas are starting to percolate into bigger organisations as well. But as a startup, you're more agile. You've got more opportunity to change directions. But you've also got the challenges of keeping yourself financed and going.
Yeah, I mean, again, like financial side, I mean, as an entrepreneur, being myself, we might be good at something, but a lot of us are not good at the financial side. So I think that is something we're working on as well to get the financial sort of going. But back to the conversation of fail hard, fail fast. I mean, what I would suggest is actually when you fail, you need to bounce it right back quite quickly as well.
Yeah.
So that is how you can determine an entrepreneur sort of, to make it a successful sort of.
And that takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that, doesn't it?
Definitely, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of determination to go through that process, and all the entrepreneurs need to learn as well. It's just like a pitfall. You need to sort of like fail it, learn it, but practice it. Yeah. Practice until you can get there, and believe in yourself, believe in people that is helping you as well.
So what's next for you? Where's Augmented Vacancies going?
Hi. Sorry.
What's next for you, Sharon?
Okay, so currently we got two things that we're working on. So as a job site, we also trying to help young people in other areas as well. So one of the big things that we're working on at this moment is to run a digital and IT recruitment exhibitions. So in London, there are so many events, there are so many fairs for anyone to get involved in terms of digital side, IT side, hackathon, everything like that. Yeah. But I don't think we are doing enough outside London area. So one of the projects, thanks to O2ThinkBig, we got the funding from O2ThinkBig, is to bring the digital sort of skill set from London to in our area in Midlands here. So on the 22nd of October, we are running a digital and IT recruitment exhibition.
Yeah.
So it's trying to tackle the skills of skill gaps in the STEM sectors. So we're inviting any companies that in working in the digital side, IT side, engineering side to come along to exhibit.
Brilliant.
And open it to any young people, any students to come along to have fun, to speak to potential employers, to get some knowledge about how to get into that route, or probably to be an entrepreneur themselves as well.
Brilliant. And where's this being held?
That's going to be run at Toko Youth Centre in Luton. So, but we are looking to roll it out to other schools and universities outside London as well, because we have actually got a lot of good feedback from by speaking to a lot of schools about the project that we're running. But because of the budget that we've been given, we won't be able to help so many sort of schools. So we are focusing on one area first.
Yeah.
Then looking to get some more funding to run it in other places.
Brilliant. So there's a sort of social entrepreneurship element to what you do as well. You're tackling the youth unemployment issue, getting into education as well as in the private sector.
That's right. So Augmented Vacancy, we are focusing on education and employment. We think it's really important to have a good education and sort of background to get into employment, to have sort of the right knowledge, to understand yourself, and to get a lot of working experience. Go along, then find yourself through that journey, see what's doing it, then going into your career.
Brilliant. Well, we've run out of time now, Sharon, so I just want to thank you ever so much. How can people contact you?
Yeah, so if you'd like to contact me, just drop me an email. So my name is Sharon. So it's Sharon at augmentedvacancies.com. So you can sort of tweet us as well. We are on Twitter at AR Vacancies. So I think the best way to do it is have a look on our website. We got lots of events coming up from time to time. And in fact, this morning, I was actually having a conversation with one of the companies. We are looking to run a competition for designing designing a mobile application that is open for young people and students. We're not sure where we're going to run it at. It might be in London, but have a look on our website, and we'll keep it updated all the time. So, and keep in touch if there's anything that you'd like to get help from, or if there's any ideas you'd like to sort of let us know.
Fantastic.
More than happy to have a cup of coffee, anything like that. Just grant us to.
Thank you ever so much, Sharon. You're so inspiring, so passionate, and I've really enjoyed talking with you today.
Thanks
very much
It's
again.
my honor to be here. Thank you.